without any more ado, you can stamp your feet, you can whistle, you can shout out loud, but please applaud Ms. Stone.
All right. Thanks, Tony. And thanks, Hill and Knowlton, for inviting me, too. This is a really fun place to be. Whew. All right, we got a good crowd. So I wanted to address a little bit. I know we only have so much time before we get to questions, but I wanted to, just in case there are people who don't know about Twitter, I wanted to talk about a little bit about how it got started, what was our inspiration, and then what are the things that happened after we created this little experiment that began to open our eyes and kind of blow our minds. And in many ways, Twitter was teaching us what it was and what it needed to be, and we were just kind of along for the ride, making sure that everything was working and just paying attention as much as we could. So that's pretty much what this is. We started out with a very simple concept, and that was my friend Jack Dorsey, who's a co-founder of Twitter, came to me while we were working at another company, a completely separate company, and he said he was inspired by the away messages inside applications like AOL Instant Messenger and other such applications. The fact that you could look at a glance and see that your friends were either out getting coffee, too busy to chat, feeling sick, whatever it was. And he said, isn't it interesting that you look at this and you get a sense of what those people are up to and what they're doing right now? And he approached myself and my other co-founder, Evan Williams, who together, we had worked for the last 10 years on social media and on Blogger at Google, and we knew about the world of blogging and social media. And he said, is this a compelling and interesting service if you just take these messages? And as we talked, we said to ourselves, what if you could get and set these messages via mobile texting, such that you would no longer have to be tethered to your computer? And suddenly it seemed much, much more interesting, because that meant that people could be updating these updates wherever they were in the world, whatever they were doing. And that seemed really compelling. So that's what we started working on. We took 2 weeks to build a prototype and asked our friends and colleagues to try it out and tell us what they think. And I remember the first weekend that I tried it out, I went home and I was tearing up some carpeting in our house, and it was a hot day and it was sweaty, and I was discovering things underneath the carpet that I just did not want to discover. And my phone buzzed in my pocket, and I picked it up, and it was Evan. And he said, sipping Pinot Noir after a massage in Napa Valley. And I just was like, what? I kind of laughed, and I couldn't believe that I knew that he was doing that at this time when I was having this horrible time. And I loved knowing that. And however trivial it may have been, I loved having that connection with him. And when I went back to work, it turns out everyone had had a similar experience, and we knew we were onto something that at the very least was going to be a rudimentary communication system, almost like a social networking, but very, very, very simple.